Welcome, A-Train PC Classic fans, to A-Train PC Classic with Omnius Prime. Episode 4, Tourist Haven 2, People and Profits. So here we are on Rural Loop 1, or could it be Omnius's Folly 1? We're at the North Alioth station. So now let's set the clock to running, and let's take a little train ride. So let's go on a 3-minute tour, and see what the area looks like from the ground level from my Rural Loop 1. Now here we are. To our left is the ocean. We're kind of like the bay, and we're coming up here now on the first station that I built, the Dubhe station, or Southwest Dubhe station. Okay, and what I did is I built a station B, and the difference between a station B and a station A and C is that the B station is like, I think the building is 4 squares wide instead of just 3. And when you want to upgrade to the station complex A, B, or C, those buildings are also going to need 4 squares. That's why you can upgrade directly. So here we are coming into beautiful downtown Dubhe. Boom. And there's, oh, look, there's a little one of my little trucks bringing in some materials to freight depot right next door. So I've been busy running clock. Now we're heading to the, here's that little loop thing that I built right here so that we could cross the street on a nice 90-degree angle so that in the future I could run an avenue across it and set up a bus line running across it. So this is the Merak station, out in the middle of nowhere. But I found that instead of building 2 lines, wasting 2 platforms, I could do 1 platform and build 5 new stations and set up a nice big loop. I started out with 3 trains with 2 cars each, and now I'm up to 4 trains with 4 cars each. So I guess that this isn't going to be Omnius's Folly after all. Here we are in the Megrez station, and if you remember from the last episode, I showed you that when I built the freight station, I built a bridge over the street, and I left enough room underneath the overhang so that I could place part of the station platform right under that overhang and connect it up. And now finally we're coming up on West Megrez. A very little station here. But as you can see, they all are the station Bs, because at some point maybe I can upgrade these stations to station complex A's, get that retail trade going in these areas just to help get development going up. Now we're going to be heading back to the main North Alioth station. As we're coming up, and let's see. You can see it looks like there's some buildings being built up here, like that big old condo high-rise that's sitting right next to the station. And thus concludes our little 3-minute tour. Bingo. Now let's let the clock run. And it looks like we've got a freight train pulling into the North Alioth freight station. Right now it currently only has 1 material car, because I was trying to build up some materials here. So on the passenger stations, you can basically set them and forget them. Um, they can run and run and run and run. You really don't need to mess with them. The freight trains and trucks are a little different in that I have to basically time. Okay, let's get rid of that. I don't want to keep following the train around. I don't want to have to follow stuff around. So now, let's get back here. So freight is ebb and flow, and it depends on the port. Right now, the port's at 100% um, capacity at high frequency. I could drop it down to low frequency so I don't sell maybe as many materials because maybe I want to build up some materials to build something big like right here. Or like I did right here, this high-rise condominium D is mine. And why did and if you remember, I saved four squares here that I bought them up and left them empty because I wanted to utilize that area for building stuff. Now, let's talk about subsidies. And here is the very cute head of city planning. And she's going to, she's telling us that we have some subsidies that are offered. The first one offered was 50% aid for the construction of a ground level road in Alcade Town, which at some point I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do it before the end of May 2003. Second one that was offered up was a 30% aid applied to the construction of a residential building in Alioth Town. And that is why I built this baby. Cost me about $56 million to build, and I got back about a $14 million subsidy. So that's really cool. Now, right now, it's only at a 70% capacity utilization rate. So I've got to increase that so that I can generate some profits, get it up to 100% utilization rate. Then I can turn around and sell it. Because I got to do, like flip some businesses, build them up, and then sell them at a profit so that I can continue to do other things. Now, after that, they offered me a 30% subsidy for the construction of a commercial building in Merrick Town. So right here is my commercial building that I built, and I got about a $1 million subsidy for that. Dying if I've got a frog in my throat as I'm trying to do my video now. And then finally we came to a 20% aid for the construction of a residential building in Doobie Town. And right here is my construction of apartment building D, which happens to be this building right here behind me, a little ways. Okay, so one of these is going to pop up right here behind the station, and by building it right next to the station, I give it the best chance of profitability. And of course, I'm aiding my station. So that cost about $4 million, so I'll get a little over $4 million, so I'll get almost $1 million in subsidy. So what I'm doing is right here, I've got a big square of land built up, 4x4. Because what I'm looking for is a subsidy to be offered for an entertainment building. Now, they're saying that entertainment buildings are in demand. I'm hoping for building this guy. Indoor stadium. $303 million construction cost. 20-30% subsidy. I could get 60 to 90 million in a subsidy. So I'd like to build the biggest one I can. Of course, there's the outdoor baseball stadium right here. That's only a mere 232 million. It would also yield a nice subsidy. And of course, more practicably, building the amusement park B here for a mere 36 million. Something I could actually do with cash on hand. Back again after wetting down my whistle so that I'm not coughing. So I finished up with the idea about subsidies, and where I've reserved some space, a big space, to build some kind of 4x4 big amusement park, but I'm waiting for that entertainment building subsidy in alley off town. So let's move on to my next point, which is going to be about people, okay, before I get to the profits. Now, I started the scenario with 80 people. I now have 144. I think I did something like 3 increases in workforce during the year. First I got 20, then I got 26, and then I think the third time I might have gotten 18. So I'm up to 144. Now, my workload is a little busy, okay, but my employee status, unsatisfied. One thing I like about this game is that, and the Japanese culture, is that employee morale, employee status is a factor in this game, whereas in most any other game, nah, you're never going to see employee status. So this is one thing I like about this game where, yeah, I blew out of the gates at the beginning of the year, adding a whole bunch of subsidiaries and stations and stuff and trains. I mean, I did have my workload at working extremely hard. And one thing is, I started out the employee status was working hard when the workload was an appropriate amount. So that tells me that the employees weren't working so efficiently. So one of the problems for my employee status of unsatisfied is that they're not working efficiently. And one of the things that we have to do is look at my projects. So now I can do 2 projects at a time because I did research the project that allows me to do the operational improvement. Now I did one already, but it didn't really push the employee status up enough. So I've got a second one going, and they run about 70 days, and I've got 43 days left. So I'm hoping that after I get this second operational improvement, I'm actually going to see an improvement in my employee status. Now, early on, I did the company benefits, figuring, okay, that's got to make the employees happy, happier, is give them company benefits. But that didn't seem to work all that much. I even did the company retreat with my personal assistant, the lovely Ms. Redmond, sporting a bikini, frolicking on the beach. I mean, that should have definitely raised employee morale. It certainly raised mine. But nope, it wasn't enough of a factor to improve employee morale. Although I imagine my employee morale could be a lot worse if I hadn't have done the benefits or the company retreat. So we'll have to see how the operational improvement goes. Now, the retreats and the benefits were cheap, a couple $100,000. Improving the operational efficiency, first time cost me 21 million, second time cost me 23 million. So I'm already 44 million into, well, actually probably over 45 million into investing in my employee morale and making sure they work more efficiently so that my projects work more efficiently so that I might make more money. I decided to focus on bus development in the first year. trucks, we're just not doing enough to develop them. I'm not ready for the streetcar expansion, and trains take too long, and they're going to be a while. So I focused on the bus development because I want to develop bus routes as feeders for the train stations around the country. So there was a low floor bus that got added in July, so I started running that and improving speed, acceleration performance, a whole bunch of things. Now, it'll be done tomorrow for the next development, which was improving the operational cost. So, let's see, it's about 2:50 in the afternoon. I want to get to of March 31st. I now want to show you what I've been doing for the 10 months that I was playing the game but not actually recording the video. Now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and upgraded the West Alley off passenger station to Station Complex A, and I ripped out the Fecta passenger station and built up the Station Complex A over here. And so all of these now have 7 track length, so I can build up to a 7-length train. Right now, my Blue Line trains are running at 5 cars each. So I still have a little ways to go before I kind of max them out. Oh, and then I also built another materials factory right here. So that what I can do, I decided to build a bridge over the railroad tracks so that I could bring materials from here over to here. And if I take a look at the depot range, I can see that it's going to go about right there. So what I may want to do, okay, before the fiscal year ends, is buy up a little property here. So I think I'll buy 4 squares here, and I'm going to buy a few squares here for freight depots. I think I'm also going to come over here and buy up these 3 little buildings. Okay. Just a little bit of buying up some land before it gets more expensive, before it gets more built up. So I'm going to be doing something here to expand this area because I want to get to the streetcar expansion. But that's still a little ways in the future. But right now I want to reserve some land, save me some money for the future. So let's see, it's about 6:19. And I think what I want to do is let's just go ahead and run up the clock. There we go. So now we finished the year. Mr. White, the CFO, says this quarter was in the black. Keep this momentum. So let's take a look at my 2002 results. Now, my sales for the year, 1.476 billion. Woo! Really cranked up the sales. Cost of sales was 1.223 billion. So I made a gross profit of 253 million right there. Okay. Now we've got lots of selling costs and commissions and depreciation of 36 million. So let's see. I only made 3.3 million in dividend income, but I'm making up money in advertising income, 13 million. Subsidies income, 22 million. Gotta love that subsidies income. So let's see. What's the bottom line, boys and girls? Current pre-tax net profit, 170, almost 176 million. Corporate tax, 68.3 million. So my current net profit will be after taxes $107.5 million. So I did. There we go. Let's stop that. And there she is. There she is, the lovely head of city planning. What has she got to tell me? So let's see. March 31st, I received subsidies of 3,389,000. And she says on April 1st, a new subsidy system has started. So what is it? Ah! So 20% aid will be applied to the construction of a commercial building in Fecta Town. Pooh Bear. I want that I want an entertainment building subsidy. Yeah. So way over here, I've got to build myself a commercial building. So more than likely, what I'm going to do is build the same kind of commercial, the multi-tenant commercial building um, that I built, and I'll build it like right next to the station. And so yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. But it's kind of like, oh man, I want the entertainment subsidy for right there, so I can start to build something big right there. So now I've done pretty well. Let's see, have we finished our project up? Ooh, for the bus development, almost. So let's just go ahead and jam through and take a look at the low floor bus is completed. Price was lower than expected. Yay! And the development was successful this time. Its performance improved more than expected. Now, sometimes the improvements can be less than expected. So let's go back here into the project. I can go in here and go new plan. Here's my increase in workforce right there. But right now I don't think I'm going to need it. Let's see. So there's the company retreat and benefits and a special bonus. So this will cost me $1.5 million. It only takes 10 days. Wow. And then benefits for 30 days and the company retreat for 630,000, another 33 days. But no seasonal tour yet. So let's take a look at my bus development because I want to do like one more. So now I have a bonnet bus, the old bus, a rear engine bus, a double-decker bus, and this low-floor bus. Now, if I go into the improvement column, I can see I have 2 low-floor buses. Okay, one at 672, one at 616. Now, and the other attributes are all the same. So what I'm going to do is come over here to discontinue. Low floor bus, 672, 616. So the 672 was the bus, my best improvement that I've been running through so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discontinue this one at 672 because the improvement in operating costs dropped the cost down to 616. So now I'm starting out at 616, and as I can see now, I've maxed out highest speed, acceleration, performance, and durability. Those are all high. So now service facility means that I will reduce the highest ridership percentage. It started out at 140%. I did one service facility upgrade, which dropped it down to 126%. But it increased my fare from I think it was 44, 46 cents to 50 cents. Here it'll increase my fare from 50 cents to 55 if I want to do that. Rider capacity, I could go from, what was that, 79 people up to 86 people, okay? Still at 50 cents a kilometer. Or I can do running cost, okay? 560 a kilometer. What I need to do is make profits, so I think what I'm going to do is just proceed here. And of course, I'm keeping my same Type C color scheme. I love the bright colors. Boom. So it'll take me 60 days to improve the running costs on the buses. Then I can replace the 3 double-decker buses here. I can also now look at building bus routes, feeder bus routes for my train stations. But of course, that means building roadways. So that's going to take some money to build roadways. Now, let's look at the balance sheet. Right now, I have an accrued corporate tax of $68 million. I have accrued fixed asset taxes of $12 million. So right now, and some change. So it's like 80. So I've got about $81 million of taxes that need to be paid. And while the taxes accrue on the end of the fiscal year when we do the profit reporting and we know what our tax bill is, then we've got from April 1st until June 1st to actually pay the bill. So on June 1st, Taxman collects, and I've got right now $65 million in the bank. Almost have the whole tax bill paid. So I'll have to be careful right now as far as running the game so that I'm not overspending. Because what I want to do is not borrow to pay my taxes. Now, let's see. Let's look at bank. So as you can see, I borrowed another $50 million in October so that I could build that high-rise condo. Right now, I only have $15 million as far as max loan amount goes, available credit. So right now, I can't do any big projects. So if I had the big entertainment building popping up for the subsidy, I probably wouldn't be able to afford it. But I really can't afford not to take advantage of the commercial building over in Town. So I think that's going to wrap it up for right now, and I want to get back to playing and building up the city, and hopefully I will see the subsidy for an entertainment building here in Alioth Town. Back again, it's May 31st, 2003, and I'm getting ready to pay the taxes. And here we have a low floor bus is completed. Price was higher than expected, and the development fell through this time. Its performance seems to be poor. So the research is kind of a crapshoot. So let's come back here and take a look at, whoops, I don't want to go there. I want to come here. So let's go back into new plan, and let's take a look at bus development. Proceed. Let's look at my discontinue. So we have 560 and 616. So, oh, Pooh Bear, now my fare is only 46 cents per kilometer instead of the 50. But the running cost is down to 560. Well, that's kind of stinks. Okay, so I want to get rid of this one. So I'm going to discontinue that one. Let's come back and look at the improvements for low floor bus. I could do running cost again, drop it down to 504, do service facility where I could pump up my fare again to 50 cents, but I would drop my highest ridership down to 112. So, that's kind of a bummer. So that dropped that fare down. I was hoping to keep a better fare, but I think what I want to do is come over to truck development, and I want to do this um, semi truck. I don't have a semi truck yet, so let's go ahead and proceed. I can't make it go any faster. I could improve acceleration performance and durability, or I could go for running cost. And I think I'm going to go for running cost. Boom. And now let's take a look at type C, D. Let's go ahead and change some colors here. I like a nice bright red. Nah. How about if I do that as bright red? Okay, and we'll come up here on the front and do green. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And so that'll take 66 days to develop a basic semi truck. That'll be good for the run from McGrez to Merak, because the little simple cab over only carries one material at a time, one anything at a time, whereas the semi carries two. So that's going to be much better. Now I have sales team expansion in 2 days. So let's go ahead. We got to pay taxes. I owe a little over 80 million. I've got 93 million in the bank. And let's come over here. I built a department store C right here because I ended up receiving a subsidy offer to build 20% aid for the construction of a commercial building in Fecta town. I'm still waiting for the entertainment building subsidy to come in so I can drop in something big. Now, let's take a look at this guy. I'm up to 80% capacity now, usage. So I'm definitely improving there. So let's go ahead and just run clock. Okay, so, whoa, here we have, was that him? Oh, okay, so number of business development employees increased. You can now execute multiple projects. So let's stop. Now I can do 3 projects at a time. So my new plan is going to be, actually the stuff that's done in red shows that I can't do it because it costs too much money. Right now I don't need to increase worker load, but there's a seasonal tour here. So let's go ahead and start the seasonal tour. Let's go ahead and I need to improve employee morale. So, whoops, here is something called a special bonus, 10 days, $2.6 million. So let's go ahead and select that. Boom. So now I can do 3 projects at a time. And I still got 13 million. Now, I didn't see where I paid dividends. It didn't look like it asked me to pay dividends. Now, let's take a look at my company info. I now have 239 people. I didn't have to do the expand the work force yet. My workload is still appropriate. My employee status is still unsatisfied. So now I have to hope that maybe I can do some bonuses, benefits, and company retreat. Ooh, and then there went the big boat. So it hauling off some lumber and materials and giving me lots of money, which of course always makes Mr. White happy. He freaks out if I go under $10 million, and then he starts crybabying about we got to secure some more funding. So I'll be back in a little bit. Back again at June 29th of 2003. And we're just getting ready to check out the dividend declaration day. We've already paid taxes. I got 31 million in the bank. And let's see, since we've been gone, I was offered a subsidy to build a commercial building in Fecta Town when there's Fecta Station. So I built this department store C right here. Cost me a pretty penny. I think about 14 million or something like that. And so now I'm waiting for the subsidy. And I definitely built it in Fecta Town. And I do have to wait until it's done building, and it's obviously done building. And what was nice is someone dropped in a nice apartment building D right next to it, right after it got built. So that's really nice. And I like the way they're using up my materials. That way I'm selling locally and making more money. Now, making money. The freight trains. I just added a car to the Alioth freight train right here in North Alioth Freight Station. As you can see, I built up some materials around this area, but my lumber looks a little sparse. And if I come over here to McGrez, I have a little bit of lumber to move still, and I'm kind of getting a little light on materials. Now, one of the things that I do is I kind of have to control how much is moving each way, how much lumber from McGrez to North Alioth, how much materials from North Alioth to McGrez. And so most of the time what I'm doing is going into my service options here. I go to the off days. Right now, I have North Alioth set. I always set my freight vehicles, truck and train, to Saturday, Sunday, and holidays off. So here, he's only off on Tuesday, so he's going to be running Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm trying to move some stuff around now. And if I look at the McGrez freight train, on the off days, I have McGrez running Tuesday and Thursday. So he's got the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, plus the weekend and holidays off. And right now I want to build up a little more here. I have just built up materials right up here in the North Doobie area. And then what I want to do is build up in the South Doobie area here, right by my nice station. And let's see. Now, trucks, they run Monday through Friday and just take the weekend off. Okay, well, let's just see. What are my trucks are doing? Merak Freight is, I just dropped him in here. So he's going to move a little freight since I have a little bit of materials forward here at this freight depot. I'm going to use him to move some materials down here to what is this? This is West Doobie. West McGrez. And then the other truck is up here moving materials from up in this area over here to down in this area over here. And he's been doing a very good job of it. Now, I'm going to let clock run because we're coming up on dividend declaration day. Ooh, which reminds me, let's look at the stock market. So if I click on the yield column header twice, I see that Premier Pulp is going to be paying 6.4%. They're the best. I got some that are paying a little above 5%. and then the rest some down at 4%. My best one is going to be paying off at 4.6%. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that, man. Under 1%, man. I got some real bad performance here. Ugh. But at least they're going to be saving me money on operating costs. So let's go ahead now and let the clock run. And here we have dividend declaration time. So the dividend amounts right now suggested is 25 cents per stock. Max dividend would be $1, 120 million stocks. So the stock price is $5 and the dividend yield would be 5%, which puts me right in the ballpark of where the other companies are paying, or were paying last year. Now, that was last year's dividend yield. So we'll have to see what the dividend yield looks like this year. Now, tells me that if I want to pay 5%, it's going to cost $30,006,000. And of course, I want to do that because what I want to do is drive Mr. White wild. And there he is. Lack of funds is concerning. Try getting more funding. I mean, here we have what, 5,793,000 in the bank. So yeah, no problem. Okay, now I just finished up one of my little research projects, which is the tour. So I'm getting the stamp collection tour. So increased tourists for 3 months. And we can go ahead and stop. And boy, look at that. There's a cargo ship heading out. And now I have 8,369,000. So I just picked up a few million. And I'm sure that Mr. White is very happy about that. So now let's take a look at the stocks again. And let's do yield. And, Beetle Industry, 4.1%. So, it looks like some of my stocks were doing a little better. First Bank came in at 2.6% yield. Flex Metal at 3%. So a couple of these are doing okay, 3.5, so 3.7. But what I got doing right now is setting the stage for going public, okay? Because that's going to be the next big thing, is going public. And that's going to take some doing. I'm going to probably have to run a lot of clock and make up a lot of money, and I keep hoping for that entertainment building offer. So if I take a look at the bank, all of a sudden I see that I have 27 million available credit, and the interest rates are going down. So at 9.9 for 1 year and 11.4, so that's like 2.6% better on the long term. So yeah, rates are coming down. I have a project. So I did the seasonal tour. I'm also doing company benefits. I don't need the increase in workforce, but right now what I want to do is company retreat. Okay. Once again, get to see the picture of the lovely Miss Redmond in her bikini frolicking on the beach. And hopefully it'll uplift the employee morale. Now, that operational improvement that I researched, that was like $23 million. It did have a good effect on employee status. Now, instead of being unsatisfied, they're back to working hard like they were originally. So now I'm hoping that with more benefits and retreats, that maybe I can get from working hard to something a little more cheerful. So yeah, love to see them get to cheerful. But now this is the first year of operation. So in the first year, I was profitable. That always makes employees happy. and I have 239 employees. So right now, the workload is an appropriate amount, and so I don't really need to expand my workforce so much. Maybe I will as a to hope that I can get from working hard down to something a little less busy. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for this episode. And what I'm going to do is probably let clock run for quite a while and see what develops, or get to maybe near the end of year two, because then it'll be like, okay, let's see how long it takes to get to the going public, where I can start getting the big public money. But I'll probably need to repay one of those $50 million loan borrowings, which is why I borrowed 50 million at a time, so that I can show some loan repayment early, and hopefully have that AAA credit rating I need to go public.